Hey, we're back, and today I'm going to be showing you our brand new Joint Military and Coast Guard base. But before I go into all the details of the base, I just want to first apologize for it taking so long to get another video out. I know it's been a few months since we put one out, but we've just been really busy. It's been pretty hard to get into some of these big projects that we wanted to do and really just finish them out for you guys. But we have finally had the time to get into this base and really put a lot of detail into it and really just finish it out the way that we have thought about doing it. So let's just go into it and show you guys around. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Coast Guard harbor area. And as you can see, we do have a couple of the larger Coast Guard ships out here now. One's getting ready to leave the port area. But then we also over here next to the base, there is a visiting Navy ship from another country that's just in the harbor also. So it is used by both the military and the Coast Guard area, but it is mostly occupied by the Coast Guard boats and the two ships that they have here. And then if we come over here to where the visiting military ship is docked at by the side of the runway, you can see that there's a connection there for the ship to dock to. And then there's also all of the sailors. They're following a little path. They're just grabbing all their stuff and they're going to a truck so they can offload from the ship. But then also in this area, for more of the people that are living on this base, there's a dog training area. So that just helps the soldiers that are on the base that have dogs, so they can go through all the different obstacles here and just work with their dogs on base. And then there's also just a regular troop training area so the soldiers can stay sharp and everything they're doing, so that you can see they come here and they're doing pull-ups over here, and then they go on to the wall and you can see the guy jumping over the wall now, and then they gotta crawl under the wires, and then they gotta run, and then finally climb the net where their officer's standing at. And then if you just move along the wall area, you can see the wall hasn't changed much as far as to the harbor, but there are some guard towers there now just to watch over the harbor. There's a bit more of an armored one right here just to protect everything for the Coast Guard and the ship. And then that's really all the guard towers and everything for the harbor area. And the first Coast Guard ship over here, as you can see, it has a few changes made to it. The back of it was taken that crane off of it, and then we put a helipad onto it. So this ship is actually just a transport ship for rescue helicopters that can go out to sea. So it doesn't have a boat on it any longer, but it does still serve a different rescue purpose for the Coast Guard. And then our second Coast Guard ship, it also has changed a little bit. So now that it has two cranes on it, it's got one on the front, one on the back, and it also has a lot of the lifeboats, so it's more of a rescue boat in that fashion, as it can carry around more of the boats to go rescue people if they fall into the water or anything like that. So we do have two ships now that do serve two purposes. And then this dock area over here by the ship has changed up a little bit. Now it's mostly just parking for a couple of fire department boats and Coast Guard little boats. And then we come over to the other part of the Coast Guard dock, and there's just another larger Coast Guard patrol boat, and then the helicopter life pod that can be dropped off by the larger helicopter, and then of course the harbor control tower that's by there by the Coast Guard. And then you have just the regular dock entrance for the Coast Guard people. So you see a Coast Guard boat right there, and a truck getting ready to leave the area. For the Air Force Base, you can see not a lot has changed, but there is a larger change right here, is that the airport tower is now on this side of the runway over here by the hangar. Hangar hasn't changed much, it still has just regular aircraft inside of it. Right now it has a stealth bomber inside of it. It looks like it's getting ready to get towed out of there. And then they've also got a new attack helicopter. Looks like it's getting fueled up and ready to go on a mission. There's a couple guys standing outside of it. And then you still have just normal troop barracks over there, parking for some of their vehicles, and then the medical and cafeteria area. And then the whole base fire station is still over next to the hangar on this side. So this area of the base still hasn't really changed much. It's just had a few extra aircraft that are new, and then the tower has moved over here now. You can also see that the cars still have to cross the runway to get to the other side of the base, to where the barracks are and the parking lot for all that are. That all is still controlled by the tower, even though it's in a different spot. So they still have to wait here if they come into the base at the one gate, and then they'll just cross whenever the runway's clear and go to the other gate. Right now it's not, because you can see airplanes taking off, but if it's clear and there's a car waiting there, a tower can open up the gates and let that all go through. And then for the Coast Guard, you can also see that they have one of their seaplanes flying over the harbor, going out on a patrol. And then the last couple Coast Guard vehicles, the larger search helicopter, and then just one of their boat transport trucks, they're parked inside the base walls over here, as you can see. But they're still right next to the Coast Guard area. They just have to go through the main gate right there. So coming over to the actual Air Force Base part of the compound area, you can see that towards the main entrance you have the concrete blocks throughout the road that the cars will have to drive around. It's just there to help slow down traffic. There's a guard tower with the fence in front of it and a double thick wall around it at the corner here. And then the cars will come up to this guard station here, which you can see. It's got the fence, and then they also have the row of the retractable spike strips there, so people going this way don't have to worry about it. But anybody that tries to like run through the gate, they'll hit those if they aren't put down. Then once they pass through the gate, they just get onto the main area. You can have a radar tower right here for the tower. It's just a guy mowing the yard. And then they can go on to the rest of the base once they get cleared to go across the runway. And then over in this area, concrete blocks also help slow down the traffic for going into the Coast Guard area, because there is a lot of people that are going to be walking around here if it's busy and going through all of that. And then in the back area of the base here, you can see, as I said earlier, you have the Coast Guard equipment that's parked here, and then you have some extra parking for some tanks back here. There's also a shooting range, so the soldiers can come back here and practice on the range. And then this gate's not always open right here, but if heavier vehicles or things that won't be able to go past all the concrete blocks need to come through here, they can. You can see they have the much larger sliding gates and a specific guard tower for this one. And right now there's a truck leaving the area right now, and it's very heavily guarded, as you can see, with the two guards outside of it and the guard tower. So that's just another way to get out of the base. It's not really used for anything else besides just the heavier vehicles. Any other traffic would have to come up here and go through the main entrance. Then as you move down here towards the runway, there's parking for the helicopters, which you can see right here. This one is getting loaded up and ready to go. Everyone's checking everything out. There's a helipad for not really military helicopters, but more of the corporate helicopters for your high-ranking officials, your government officials. Look like there's like someone getting on there right now with some of his associates talking to the pilot. It's getting ready to go. And then as you come over here, you can see the stealth fighter taxiing on the runway, because there's the aircraft that's already taken off, but once it clears that area, it'll be able to get onto the runway and carry on with its flight also. So that is our new, larger Air Force base, and then Coast Guard, harbor, and then some base part of it, and the section back there. Let us know what you guys think about the new base and its design. Let us know how you think we did, how good it looks, what you like, what you don't like. And again, I'm sorry it took so long to get this video out, but thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.